Right then, chaps. What you see before you there is a legend in the knife world. It's a Fairbairn-Sykes Commando dagger, pattern 3, because of the ring grips. And I have to say, if Messrs Fairbairn-Sykes were around today, they would bloody well ram it into the neck of whoever made it, because it's a piece of junk. And that would be, unfortunately, our very own John Norwell and Sons. It's made in Sheffield. There you go. J. Norwell and Sons, Sheffield, England. And that is really disappointing. I mean, if it was made in China, I'd be able to understand, but by a bloody Englishman, he should just be disgraced. This is a cheaper reproduction, as you should hope so, for how bad it is. This is like around 30 quid. It's also advertised as the Sheffield Fairbairn-Sykes Commando dagger. And I mean, if you want to buy a new one of these, like a very good reproduction, you're talking about 150 quid upwards. And if you want to buy an original Fairbairn-Sykes Commando dagger, kind of the pattern 1 and pattern 2, with the checkered grips, you're talking about $2,000 upwards. So this is why I bought this as a cheap user. And I'm sending it back because it's not funny how bad it is. I'm not having my money spent in England if it's going to be this bad. The bluntest knife I've ever come across. From new. There we go. Oh, we've just sliced this in. First time it's done that. And I took the pleasure of bouncing that thing tip down into my leg, and that's a whole 8 ounces of steel on that tiny little point, and it didn't even begin to hurt in any way. I'm not being manly about that. I didn't even notice it was there, but it just felt like I was like kind of something round was nestling on my knee, which is very nice. If I did it with a Spyderco Military, which has a thicker tip than this, you'd be unhappy. Let me assure you of that. Came dirty. There's actual dirt on the blade. It's not oil and grease, it's actual dirt. There was damage here, you can see that there, and also on the hilt. There's dents in the rings on the pattern 3 grip. You can see up there. It's not part of the design. It's quite hideously bad. It's not uniform throughout it, so it's not a design feature. Also, you can see there that this is flat onto the camera. There's more blade to the left than there is to the right. Thirdly, you can see that light shining through there. There's a hole between the blade and the actual hilt. And also, if you shine down, if water gets in there, it's just going to bloody well destroy your tang. It's just going to eat it out. It's just going to rust it. It's pretty much a disaster. I'm not having a lot of luck recently, am I, with buying new knives? The sheath is also a bit of a joke. As you can see here, there's no insert inside it, which means that if you take it out at a funny angle, put it back in, you'll be cutting your sheath and probably your leg. There is, however, a drainage hole, which I was quite impressed by. But you'll be making plenty of your own drainage holes with a design like this. The elastic's incredibly stiff, but I'm sure that will even out with time. It takes about 2 hands at the moment, but I suppose in an emergency situation, you'd hope to have practiced with this a bit more. For me, this is going to be a tactical cheese knife. Well, it was, but I'm now sending it back, as you can probably tell. It's not very well made. Cheers.